Building big arms is probably one of the easiest and quickest ways to improve your physique. And in this video, I'm going to give you my go-to exercises to maximize your arm growth and some exercises that you probably shouldn't be using in your programming. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan. I'm an ex-NRL player, online coach, and natural bodybuilder. And this channel is all about finding the most efficient way to help you lose fat and build muscle. As we spoke about, we are going to be talking about maximizing arm growth and the best exercises to do so. Okay, now we have two portions of the arm. We have the bicep and the tricep. And the first one we're going to be talking about is obviously everyone's favorite. We're going to be talking about the biceps. Now the bicep is an elbow flexor. Okay, so it takes the elbow from the extended position and helps flex the arm up. Okay. There is two portions. You have the long head, okay, which runs along the top, and also you have the short head, which runs along the inner side of the bicep. Now we also have the brachialis, okay. Now brachialis runs underneath the biceps, okay, and it's not a muscle that's talked about too much, but it is a large muscle, and if you maximize the growth of that, it is actually going to improve the overall appearance of the bicep and make it look a lot bigger, okay, and that also helps with the flexion of the elbow. Now there's one other movement that the biceps help with, and that is shoulder flexion, okay? So bringing the arm up to an overhead position, okay? So this is the main reason why we are choosing this next exercise, or the first exercise up, which is the incline curl, okay? Because this is going to place us in a more stretched position on the biceps. So by bringing the arms behind you, because we're in that inclined position, it is going to allow for more of a stretch on the biceps, and time again it is shown that being in a more stretched position, okay, is going to improve the growth of the biceps, especially in the upper portion, okay. Next up, we're going to be talking about the preacher curl. Okay, now the preacher curl allows for tension in the more lengthened position. Now they've also done research on this, and it shows that you're going to be able to grow the more lower portion of the bicep, okay? Because even in the incline curl, although we're placing it in a more stretched position than the preacher curl, the force and the tension that you're going to apply on the biceps isn't in the lengthened position, okay? It's not until we start to bring the dumbbells up and actually till we get to that 90 degrees where the dumbbells are at that furthest point away from the joint is actually where we experience the most tension and the most force. However, when doing the preacher curl, because we have the pad or the bench that we're able to rest the arm on, we are making sure that tension is being applied in a more lengthened portion of the movement rather than a shortened portion of the movement. And it's been shown in research that this improves growth of the lower portion of the bicep, and in particular the brachialis, which I spoke about before, which is also a very important muscle to grow to improve the overall appearance of the bicep. And also along with this, you definitely want to be including our bread and butters like the dumbbell curls, easy bar curls, cable curls, all of those things. However, I just think that you definitely need to be including these two exercises as the particular stretch that you're going to get in the bicep, or potentially the loading pattern, like especially you'll see in the preacher curl. You're not going to get any of these in a standard compound exercise. So something like a chin up or a bent over row or something like that. You aren't going to experience that type of stretch, and you're not going to experience that type of loading pattern where we place a more stretch emphasis, as opposed to when you're doing a dumbbell curl. Kind of a similar sort of resistance profile, similar sort of range of motion that you're going to experience with a more compound movement. So that is the main reason why I'll definitely be recommending these two as my go-to exercises, because you're really just not going to experience any type of tension or stretch like it with any other sort of compound exercise that you're going to have in your program. And next up, we're going to be talking about the triceps. Now, the triceps is an elbow extensor, okay? So it goes the other way. Takes the elbow from flexion into extension, okay? Now we have three heads. We have the long head, we have the middle head, and we also have the lateral head. Now the long head, similar to the biceps, okay, it attaches at the scapula. So how the biceps help with shoulder flexion, so bringing the arm up overhead, okay? The long head helps with shoulder extension, so bringing the arm down by your side. Okay, so similar to when we did the incline curl, to place the long head into a large stretch position, we need to be bringing the arm up overhead, which is going to place a larger range of motion, a larger stretch on the long head, which is going to improve the growth that you're going to see, in particular in the long head. Now, they've shown this in research as well, that by taking the arm up overhead and having a more stretched position, okay, it is going to improve the long head growth, as opposed to something like a push down where you're not going to experience the same stretch on the long head. So if you're looking to maximize your growth, specifically for the long head, we need to be taking that arm up overhead, okay? And next up, we have the JM press and the push down with the arms going back. Now, similar to the preacher curl, where we're able to load the more lengthened portion of the movement, same is gonna happen with the JM and also the push down with the arms behind, is that you're able to load a more lengthened portion of this tricep extension movement, okay? So, as I said previously with the biceps, okay, you're not going to experience these type of different tensions at stretch positions, and also obviously with the overhead position for the overhead tricep extension, you're not going to experience that kind of range of motion and stretch with a regular compound exercise. So that is the main reason why we'd definitely be adding these two exercises in. It's just because you're not going to experience much like that in your regular compound programming, okay? So making sure that we have those two in, so we get to experience tension at a more lengthened portion and also experience a more stretch, specifically for the long head, okay? And last up, you will be making sure that you're getting in some type of skull crusher variation, okay, where you're going to be able to get a bit of a stretch on the long head, okay, as we take those arms up overhead, and also you're going to help bias a little bit more of the shortened position, okay, because as we drive up, it gets harder in that more shortened position or shortened portion of the movement, okay? So definitely be incorporating those variations into your tricep training. Now, final thoughts, guys. As I said, want to have some type of incline or preacher, okay, to complete the development of the biceps. And if you want to be sprinkling in some exercises, definitely would be including some of the go-to standing dumbbell curls or cable curls or anything like that. You can definitely be sprinkling those in for a little bit of variation if you like, okay? For the triceps, we're making sure that we're using overhead work. Now, it could be cable, could be dumbbell, and definitely having a JM and a push down. And then similar to with the dumbbell and cable curls, sprinkling in some skull crusher variations to really just round off that tricep development there. And lastly, some exercises to avoid is anything that doesn't allow for a full range of motion, okay? So anything sort of like a kettlebell curl or potentially like a waiter's curl where you can't get a full range of motion for your curls, any sort of tricep movement that doesn't allow for a full range of motion, I likely wouldn't be using as direct training for my tricep or biceps, and anything that bias the shortened position a little bit too much. So something like dumbbell spider curls or dumbbell kickbacks for the triceps, okay, that's gonna put you in already a less stretched position, okay, so you're already gonna be in a shortened position. Spider curls, you're gonna have your arms in front, so shortening the biceps. Kickbacks, you're gonna have your arms behind, so you're gonna be shortening the triceps, but also you're gonna have no tension in the lengthened position as well. With the spider curls, it's not until you get up to that 90 degrees, so the shortened position, that you're really gonna experience tension, and same goes with the kickbacks. It's not until you get into the full shortened position that you're really gonna experience tension in the triceps. So these two variations, I definitely wouldn't be including into my direct tricep work. As I said, it doesn't really place any stretch emphasis, and it doesn't really place any tension on the more lengthened portion either. So it doesn't really tick any of those boxes. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't be including either of these two exercises into my programming. So hope this has helped, guys. As always, do those good things, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one.